And we are back. We are back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Stormers up against the Sharks. We are in Cape Town for this next encounter. Before we then move to Edinburgh for the final match of the day, we just saw the Bulls beating the Lions 21 points to 13. No bonus point, though, for the Bulls, which they might be frustrated at, but a much better performance from the Lions, which is good to see. Still a lot of work to do for the Lions coaching staff to try and tighten up that defense. You can't be conceding 20 plus points every week. I think that becomes, you're not going to win games if that's happening every single week, because it's unrealistic in terms of the amount of points you yourself can try and score. But it's a work in progress, and I think that what we saw today was a couple of positives. Because when I first saw the team that was announced, I must admit to being pretty worried. But yeah, I thought that it was a better performance from the Lions, and hopefully we'll see them take the next sort of step over the season. Because in theory, that's a good bull side. It's a very good bull side, and I'm a very honest Lions supporter, and I'm very aware that we're not going to compete in the same way the other teams can. We don't have the same squads. We don't have that depth. We don't have the same pedigree of players. But you've got to remain patient and start building something there. And as long as you see progress, I'm happy. But today we're in for an interesting game. AJ Jacobs, the referee. We've got the Sharks taking on the Stormers. And a couple of change. Well, not too many changes for either side. So for the Stormers, they have replaced tight head Sadie Sunday with Brock Harris. And elsewhere in the Stormers, they've also got, as the referee blows his whistle, Warwick Khalad is coming for Damian Williams. Apart from that, it's an unchanged side. For the Sharks, Lakanya Amma shifted to inside centre to accommodate the injury of Benta Hawaii. Nice tackle from Siabela Sonato and Pepsi Buthelezi early on there from the Stormers. And elsewhere in the Sharks, it's an unchanged pack, but Jaden Hendrickson is starting for the first time in a rugby match since that injury against Argentina, which is good to see. What are your score predictions? What are we thinking? Who are we backing here? That goes to the boot there, and Tito Bonilla. That's another change for the Sharks. Comes to a starting lineup. His first start for the Durban franchise, the Argentinian international. In for Buddha Chamberlain, who I thought was very disappointing last weekend. So hopefully, Bonilla steps up and fills a bit of that gap for the Sharks fans. I think Mike Liebach needs to have a big game this weekend, because I thought that he was also pretty poor last weekend. In fact, we're just waiting to see a fly half put in a big performance. I thought that Chelsea wasn't terrible for the Lions. I wouldn't say it was anything that special. He's got a nice boot on him. But we've always known he's got a nice boot on him. Anyway, first set piece of the day. We've got a Stormers line out on the Sharks 22, so an early opportunity for them to attack. And I think the Stormers will be looking for a win today. I think that on paper, again, you still think that the Sharks have got the better side. But the Stormers side is starting to still gel. T9 win there as Scurry and Tabene takes the ball into contact. And having beaten the Bulls away, gotten a late draw against the Sharks, I think the Stormers will be looking for all points here. And if they do, it'll be a fantastic little patch of form for them. Good, a couple of good touches there, but turnover ball now for the Sharks. Burn Corsi then going to the boot. Goes to Natla, and we're then going to play the double knock on. So, first scrum of the day. Now, this is why Brock Harris is in the side, because Saturday Sunday, unfortunately, had an absolute mare at the scrums last weekend and got absolutely blown away by Oxenchair. So, they brought in Brock Harris to start to try and counteract that. And we're about to find out if it's going to work. Right, first round of the day. Here we go. So we're looking a lot more solid. The Sharks pressure is coming in now. The ball's available, though. Penalty advantage there. Jaden Henshaw deciding to go towards Bonilla. They're going to try around the 22 here. Big tackle from Angela Davids on that pretty fast. They'll go back for the penalty, but that's a much improved scrum from the Stormers. They did concede a penalty in the end, but if we look at a week ago where they weren't even beginning to compete, that's a really more positive. Right, so line out on the halfway line here for the Sharks. Clean win there. Inside ball there for Spoon. Corsi gives it away to Upland. First, he can't hang on. There must have been a knock on there, surely. Turnover ball for the Stormers. There is a knock on advantage. John Free filling at scrum half, gives it to Stephen Kitsoff. Thomas Tatoye makes the initial hit, and Wongi Manambi completes the tackle. Now Herschel Yankees looking for the box kick here. Advantage over. And Angelo Davis makes that kick. Marcus Pimpy was there, but he just never went up. So it's Stormers keeping the possession on the halfway line. Now going out wide to Warwick Lunt. Warwick Lunt going to the boot there, trying to turn up into Fassi. Fassi now kicking quite deep. It's going to be a nice battle between the two of them. Future Springbok fullbacks going at it. Khalad leave the safe to 22. Now goes to the right boot, but I think he came off the player there. It's bounced back towards the Stormers. The Stormers still have the ball in hand. They're back to Warwick Lunt. Lunt going to himself, trying to get that ball through his arms to the tackle and get the offload away, but doesn't, so he takes it to ground. Achieva Diamani wrapped up by Hiron Andrews. Now Herschel Yankees going to put to the boot, put this high in the air and get a couple of chases going after it. And Davis chasing hard. And the Stormers the Stormers are winning every single high ball battle. Once again, they're going to go ahead. Riding the luck there. Achieva Diamani. And Oxen Chair has missed that one. We're going to go back for, I think it was a knock on it. It will be a Stormers scrum, but the Stormers so far are employing the up and under tactics and winning almost every single ball. Let's get a bit of a poll going in the comments here, shall we? Pretty solid scrum there. Nice platform to work with, Moy Liebach. And he's left the ball behind there. Lakanya Amos passed on and managed to turn over the ball here for the Sharks. Turn over the ball on the halfway line. Now to Benila, to Maximum and Pimpy. Pimpy going himself. Brought down by Dan Duplessis. Aaron Andrews now, some go forward ball here from the Sharks. Jaden Henderson to Lakanya Amin inside centre. Oh, he almost got the offload. Jeremy Ward, how did you drop that? How did you drop that? Oh, he didn't drop that. I thought he dropped that. Never mind. Really good offload there. I don't know. It must have been a bit of a glare in the camera. Yeah, I was about to say. I thought I saw the knock on. And it's brilliant, Lakanya. I'm right in the contact and then gets the ball out. And he almost puts it in the hands of Jamie Ward. He then knocks it on. Somehow AJ Jacobs doesn't actually see it. So he allows play to go for a while. But eventually the call comes from the touch judge to say, listen, mate, did you not see the knock on there? So the good news for the Stormers fans is that scrums are already looking far more competitive as we knuckle down for what should be the third. I think it's the third scrum of the match so far. Haven't quite seen Brock Harris be blown away in the same fashion that Saturday Sunday was last weekend. We have a reset here. And half-time over in Ireland. Ireland currently leading Wales 10 points to 0. It was actually quite a nice match that was going on there. So we're keeping a half eye on it. Sharks obviously boasting an entire Springbok front row. So you'd imagine that they would have the upper hand when it came to scrum time. Now there comes a bit of pressure here from the Sharks. That's a bit of pressure. And that's Thomas Latoya, Stephen Kitsoff, actually. So the flick back, and then it's knocked forward by Jeremy Ward. But that's a bit ominous for the Stormers. There's a big scrum there from the Sharks. And Manilo is having a bit of a tough time early on. Grant says March about 1 minute behind. Well, just as well, I'm not watching it on DSTV satellite. Otherwise, you'd be about 2 minutes behind. Yeah, unfortunately, DSTV is just buckling at the moment. So onto the old apps. And for some reason, the mobile app is faster than like streaming on DSTV now, the website, which makes no sense to me. But what can you do? Is my time right? Yeah, my time is right. Well, thankfully, there's rugby to watch because I tell you, I was in such a bad mood at lunchtime. Like, oh my goodness. So thankfully, things have picked up a lot. Father and son camp out 5th of March. I'll do that, except I don't have a son. Anybody going to the father and son camp out at Loftus? Anyone? No? Fair enough. Better scrum there from the Stormers. Buck Harris has popped up there. But it's available for Herschel. Ball pops out for Herschel Yankees, who's wrapped up by John Lupscatney, but he does manage to get the ball away. Now Warwick, what can he conjure up? Gets the pass away. Eventually, Angela Davis off a arm of a Kanye arm. Didn't go forward there, so it will be a Sharks lineup there. But Warwick just... He's deceptively fast, isn't he? You know, he's got that. I mean, like there, a bit of turn of pace to get in between the two players. Always looking for the offload. Always trying to keep the game alive. And I think if the Stormers win this game, I can bet my I would say my life savings, but there aren't any savings. That he will have a very good game. All right, Bongi Manambi. It doesn't get much more solid as a line option, but it is a bit of a messy line. Aaron Andrews eventually does manage to bring it down to ground. So it is available for the Sharks. Meanwhile, Ireland versus Wales is about to get underway. Jane Henschler, good to see him back. About to go set for the box kick. The Pimpy is chasing hard. Angela Davids is there as well. Gets it bounced, and then it bounces into Angela Davids. So it will be a Sharks put it as well. Right, Bongi, let's go Bongles. Feeds it to Lavskakni, who goes through his hands, but it does eventually go to the Kanya Amak. Pimpy was wrapping around his right shoulder, but it was well read by Stormers. Still available for the Sharks. It's inside Stormers territory. They go back to Manilo in the pocket, who puts the boot. Now Spoon Corsi is chasing hard. It's very good in the air, Spoon Corsi. Warkalant is there, though. The ball bounces down, though, off Warkalant, and turnover ball for the Sharks have got it back. And there's a knock on there as well. So it will be a Shark scrum, which in a nice part of the field as well. Warkalant going up and getting it slightly wrong there, almost over jumped it. So he ended up taking it ball from behind him. Not quite sure where the knock on came in there. Come on, Sharks. Wuka clap the mountain goes. The Kanya is clearly marking Lant when he joins the line. Yeah, no, I think that's very much in terms of a man marking mission. Interesting, because you don't often see man marking in rugby per se. It's obviously a very football thing. It's very difficult to do in in rugby. But I think, and I can see why as well, because pace-wise, you need somebody like Lekanya he's going to be able to keep up with Gelant. If you can nullify the Gelant threat, you go a long way towards stopping the Stormers' momentum, especially when the game gets loose, which is where the Sharks like to play. Solid scrum there for the Sharks. Hendrickson going to Benito, gives to Lekanya who steps away to the right. Now rides the contact of Deon Fourie and goes down. Jaden Henderson now going to Benito once again. Goes to the boot. There's two chasers on Warwick Gelant, and then forced to make us on the Pimpy. So Sharks will start with possession 5 meters out. Pissy Buthelezi cuts back inside. Wrapped up by Ernst van Rijn. Jaden Henderson going to Thomas the Toy. Big hit on him from RJ Smith. Jaden Henderson going just sniping a little bit, giving it away to Ruben van Heerden. Deon Fourie all over that ball and does win a penalty. It's a little bit isolated was Ruben van Heerden. He did well to roll, which bought a little bit of extra time, but Deon Fourie was lurking and ready, and he gets his first turnover of the match. He'll be very relieved, Deon Fourie, after he was penalised quite a lot last weekend. What's our poll saying? We've had 17 people vote, and so far Stormers, people reckon Stormers are going to win this match. Now you see, there's a lot of talk about the Lions coaching staff not being good enough. But if the Sharks don't win this, Ireland, yeah, that's a good finish. That is a terrific finish. Ireland have scored a try. That is such good work from Conway. He had so much to still do, and he does manage to get over in the corner. I think they're going to have a look here, but that looked like a very good finish to me. Anyway, back to local stuff. Stormers now just past the halfway line. Going to Benny, goes to Marvin Ori. Good line out there. And Hershey Yankees goes to Andrew Missy. Very flat. Kanya wraps him up and might need a new pair of shorts at half time. Spela Sanatla on the right hand side is wrapped up by Jeremy Ward and Makazoma Pimpy. Hershey Yankees now decided to go in the inside. Marvin Ori. Good defense there from the Sharks. Herschel now to Monty Liebach. Liebach to Deon Fourie. Big tackle on him from Pepsi Buthelezi. I'd like to see more from Pepsi Buthelezi. He's been a bit quiet the last few games. Monty Liebach now decided to go to the boot. Spotting a bit of space in the corner there. Needs that kick to just wait up a little bit, which it is. Spoon Corsi chases back, then swings it to the left to Apele Fassi. Apele Fassi brings out that left boot and finds touch by the halfway line. And they do take it quickly, though. Inside goes to Warwick Gelant. What does Warwick Gelant want to do? Well, he gets wrapped up by Fassi, a little bit under pressure, but Deon Fourie is there, so Storm's back on the halfway line. That's a very good defensive read there from Spoon Corsi. Oh, nice. There's a clever pass on now, but it's gone straight over the head of Spears Natla. Very good defense there from the Sharks. Lots of pressure up quickly, putting Stormers, making them make pressure kicks there now. Took that was very interesting. The Sharks do it quickly and swung it back to Manilo, who then tries to find a bit of space out wide. Meanwhile, Ireland have been awarded the try. Moy Liebach now finds touch. Doesn't find touch, actually. Hello, cat. Up to Fassi. Up and under. Max will be to chase, but it is very far. And Moy Liebach decides just to mark it and slow things down. What do you want from me? Hey? Right, so Ireland now going up to 15 points with the kick to come from Johnny Sexton. So it's currently 15. Let's see if it'll be 17. That is a brilliant conversion from Johnny Sexton. Goodness me. Right, 70 points to 0 over in Ireland. Still 0-0 down in Cape Town. Macy Lyon, Jaden Hensley gets away to Manila. He's got a bit of space, actually. He's burst through this, but he's still going. Looking for support runners, gets the long pass away to Makaluma Pimpy. A bit of takers, and Jamie Ward picks it up off the ground. Warwick Gelant eventually bringing him down. Very good break there from the Argentine fly half. Jaden Henderson now going back to Manilo. Flat pass to Ruben van Heerden. He makes a few meters. Penalty advantage for tackling or rolling. So Sharks got some options here, but they'll go back for the penalty. And this is very kickable, so we could very well see our first points of the match today. Yeah, we are going to go see a kick goal. Right. Jacques Benilo, or Tito Benilo is his nickname. Pretty much around in front and no issues there. He sends that over. First points of the day belong to the visiting side as the Sharks go 3-0 up after about 20 minutes. I mean, the Sharks' depth is unbelievable when you think that, as I said, they could name a backline of completely internationally capped players. I mean, how's that? Almost a very nice take out of the air from Spport. He does win the penalty for being taken out in the air. Jane Hemster going to tap and go. And Bongi Manambi has managed to pick up a 50-50 offload. Sharks up to the halfway line. Jaden Hemster back to Benio. He spots a bit of space down the left-hand side. Oh, that could be brilliant, you know. Unfortunately for him, it bounces just short of inside the 22. That was almost a brilliant 50-22 from the Argentine fly half. He was really starting to cook now. Had a line break there. And then literally grabbed it and he just saw the space on the left-hand side and decided to kick across the field. And had that ball bounced in a different way, it would have been a 50-22. So it's just bounced off on the other side there. So it will be a Stormers put into the line out. But ominous signs. And look, if he plays like he's playing at the moment, I think that Woodard Chamberlain could find getting back into the side quite difficult. Good line out there from the Stormers who go to Instant Rain. First running more. Looking pretty solid as well. Making a few meters here. Especially Yankees watching things. Now Skakny has fallen down, has gone down. It's a penalty advantage. One year goes to Dan Dubussy, goes to Warakaland. Warakaland steps inside the one. Ball over. Now we go. Ruan now cracking on the pace here. He's got Sanatla outside him. And Spoon Corsi has made. Oh no, it's a fantastic rip on the ground. And the Stormers still got possession here inside the 22. Back to Warakaland. He's a bit of space. Looking for the offload here. They've got an advantage here as well to the Stormers. That's really good work. Ruan now. Not necessarily the fastest player, but he showed today he's no slouch. Now Damani wrapped up. The Stormers on the 22. Still an advantage now. Money Libach starting to chase the point of attack. And Warakaland chips the ball over the top and will take the penalty. I mean, it's Warakaland who creates this, you know, because I think it was Spoon Corsi. Actually, I don't think it was Spoon Corsi, but one of the Sharks players on defense just came up quite quickly. So Warakaland takes it on the inside to take their player out, create the two-man overlap, then plays the pass out wide to Ruan Nal, who then has lots of space to run. Then he gets Sanatla. Sanatla got inside. It looked like Spoon Corsi made a brilliant interception before the ball was, I think, ripped from his hands in the ground. Early tackle is the penalty, so they're going to call it. I think they're going to kick for the corner here, you know. I think the Stormers are backing themselves. And why not, really? Right, check it something quickly. I'd like to have seen a replay of that. That was a really nice move. Quiet chat today. Yeah, look, everyone was chatting during the Bulls Lions game, so hopefully it'll pick up there. There's good rugby on at the moment, by the way. It looks like some good footy as well across the various Leaf FA Cup this weekend. We won't talk about Manchester United, but the Ireland and Wales game is looking really good. I'm enjoying it. I've got my two screens set up over here. And then this game is looking pretty good as well. We're running more here for the Stormers. They are getting some momentum here. Pesky Boudelaise is definitely trying to get through the middle and but here they come with the reinforcements for the Stormers. They have to play it. Now it's going to Benny goes himself. So Yankees now going to go to his captain, Stephen Kitsoff. Ball almost rolled free there. Brock Harris away to it and managed to pick up and go. Yankees putting a bit of pace. Daimani juggling. Ball comes a bit loose there. Yankees goes to the left. Daimani Liebach. Liebach going to Ruan now. Ruan now spins away from Spport. And I think there's a knock-on in there. Yeah, there's a knock-on. So the Sharks survived that. So who won that match? If we're talking about the Bulls versus the Lions, the Bulls won 21 points to 13. Ireland are currently leading Wales 17 points to 0. We will be live for the England game tonight. However, we will be starting it quite late because this game will overlap that game. And then, so we will be starting a bit late. Josh Adams is such an idiot. 50-50 over here, and he decides to pull out the thing and just drop a shoulder into Johnny Sexton here. He's a dirty player, Josh Adams. Josh Adams, what an idiot. He doesn't get at least a yellow card here. I don't know how he doesn't. Brock Harris receiving a bit of treatment. They'll need him to stay on because he's going to be very important for the scrums. But Josh Adams could be getting it must be a yellow card at least. So basically what happens is the trip over the top, Sexton and Josh Adams were both going for it. But then Josh Adams pulls out and basically just drops a shoulder and he smacks Johnny Sexton over here. So he has been sent to the bin. I don't know why you complain. It was a stupid thing to do. But he also loves to complain, doesn't Josh Adams? Hey? What a waste of a really good player, It must be so frustrating when you see a quality player, and he is a quality player, just do stupid things. Like, it's not hard. Don't be stupid. Just don't be dumb and don't be shit. That's just very good life advice. Brock Harris all right to continue. So there's a Shark scrum on their 5-meter line. And a short-arm penalty or a free kick. Doesn't find touch, so the Stormers are now going to counter-attack here. Warwick swinging wild to Snatler. Snatler's stepping inside, cracking on the pace. Brought down, Spoon courses over that ball. But it's available for Hershey Yankees. Dion Farid. Oh, a little pop into Marvin Ori. Turnover ball for the Sharks here. Now up the Fassi. Brings up that very big left boot of his. The bounces back towards the Sharks players. So Warwick got a bit of time here. Now he brings out his left boot. That looks like it's going to go too far. Is he going to set up? It is going to set up. Jaden Henderson back. And Jaden Henderson will find touch. Still inside Sharks territory. So the Stormers are doing very well in terms of playing the game in the right area at the moment. They've sort of camped themselves inside the... I'm trying to work out what side of Cape Town, Are they close to the beach there? In fact, I've actually never in the stadium, so it actually could just be parallel. But, so they've just camped it in Sharks territory, and Ireland scored another try. So Wales are throwing things away after that Josh Adams yellow card. What an idiot. Right, so line up there from the Stormers from Marvin Ori. It's what he does. Money Liebach flat for Dan Duplessis. Oh, Dan Duplessis burst through. He's got the offload away to Ruan now. And it's slightly behind Warwick Kalantu. Manages to go back and clean up. He's still got the ball in hands. Warwick Kalantu then tries to put the offload away to Angela Davids, who wasn't expecting it. So it is turnover ball for the Sharks. So they're going to try to drag it on. I think they're going to play the first knock on, which was from the Stormers player. Really good line run there by Dan Duplessis, who's now receiving a bit of treatment. And I mean, I don't want to see him go down, but I would like to see Damien Williams at 12. Jaden could have paid his barber some more for his mullet. Maybe he needs to get Jamie Ward's barber out. I wonder if they got the same guy. Stadium is next to the coast, but there's no beach there. Well, I mean, I suppose it'll be defined beach, isn't it? I've actually got a mate. So when it's Cape Town Sevens, I've got a mate who actually stays. You can see the stadium. You can walk to the stadium from where he is. So that's the plan for. In fact, I must find a. I mean, what and cheapers? Johnny Sexton is just currently sitting here and bending a ball like Beckham for these conversions in the Ireland game. Goodness me, 24 points to nil. Not looking good for Wales. We've got some pretty staunch supporters. I won't be happy with what they're watching, but yeah. So I've got a mate who lives in Molly Point, which is right by obviously Sea Point, and I think we're gonna have to make a trip down for one of the Stormers games. I could find like a Friday night game that'd be quite cool to go to. Fly on the Friday afternoon, go to the game in the evening. Anyway, Charlotte scram there from Sharks, and Bonito will kick them out of trouble. He goes very deep, and Angela Davids is back. Pass the ball inside to Warwick. Not a great pass to Kalant at all. So Kalant under a bit of pressure, giving it to Snutland. Now Snutland's got the pace. Can he get away from Lukanya Am? Lukanya Am is desperately chasing him, but he's got away from him. Inside ball from Dan Duplessis. Dan Duplessis. Oh my word! All you have to do is make the pass, and he doesn't go to hand. And it's turnover ball for the Sharks. I'm hearing a phone. This is actually a bit freaky. I'm hearing a phone ring, but I'm the only person in this house. I'm going to return. Right, the good news is somebody left their phone behind. That was a bit freaky. You're sitting here by yourself in the house and you hear a phone call. And when your hands on your phone, I mean, yeah. But anyway, the Sharks have got possession yet. It's the half an hour mark. Yeah, jeepers, what a break that was from the Stormers. If the last pass from Dan Duplessis had gone into hand, it would have been try time. Pimpy was giving chase there from the kick over the top, but he was in front, so it's a penalty again to the Stormers. We see some very good moments on both sides here. Still no tries though to speak of. So I suppose you'd say just not clinical enough so far. Stephen is in the screen. Mate, now that you said, now there's a random beeping going out there. I don't know what beep that is. But there's just a lot of noise in this house. It's fine. There's a dog around, yeah. So I back the dog. Dog sorted out. Oh, you're not married? No, not married. Yeah, being married requires having money. No, I'm currently broadcasting from my parents' house, but everybody's out. So as I said, when you suddenly hear a phone call and you're the only person in the house, now you're hearing random beeping. So if I get killed on stream, just do me a favor and donate towards or at least clip it so we can put up some highlights. But anyway, strange games. I think we've seen some very good moments so far, and I'm not quite sure why we haven't had a try. We're starting to see the centers actually playing. Because I said that I hadn't seen the Stormers centers really come to the party just yet. But Ruan now and WBC have had nice moments so far. The call is coming from inside the house. When you're married, you normally look spooked. I love that. Let me just adjust my clock. I don't know what that beeping is. I mean, we currently have load shedding, so it's probably that. Hershey Yankees to Dion Ferree. Well, I didn't think we're supposed to have load shedding, so I'm a bit confused why we don't have power. Anyway, Stormers are on the front foot here, and Thomas Tatoya has given away. I thought he had given away a penalty, but I think it looked like he had rights to play Hershey Yankees there. So Stormers just outside the 22 now. Dion Ferree picks up and goes, but runs into Bongi Manambi, so doesn't make too much progress there. Now Hershey Yankees going to Moni Liebach. They're going down the blind side here. Warwick Lunt sucking in two defenders there. Spoon Corsi makes tackle, and Spoon Corsi actually Warwick Lunt was rolling on the ground as the call from AJ Jacobs. You can see the penalty for the Sharks here. It's just not really happening for either side. You just take to the person left the throw at home. That's the big. I mean, the problem is just a constant beep, and it's still going. I have no idea what it is. And the problem is
It doesn't get much better than this, unfortunately. It turns out that the beeping that we were hearing was actually the inverter that currently powers us during power outages dying. So welcome to Forever Sports on a budget, unfortunately. Bit of a disaster over here. We were hoping that we were going to be able to get through the game, but yeah, so this is the kind of situation. Unfortunately, we have to be like this for the rest of the game. So let me just try and get us a scoreboard here as the Stormers finally find the breakthrough. Having a bit of a, so basically what we've got here, what I can offer you guys here is this until either the power comes back or until my phone and my iPad dies. The iPad's sitting on 52%, so that's going to be fine. However, the phone, it's sitting on 42%, so we could be alright for a bit, but I don't even know how I can make this look any better, to be honest. So yeah, unfortunately, welcome to Forever Sports, the budget Forever Sports. It's not going well yet. Welcome to South Africa. Hey, what can you do? What can you do? 124, Wales 0. Yeah, so we had that in the score. We did have that. Sierra's not one to play against Stormers, especially in Cape Town. So we're having a TMO review here for Hiron Andrews for contact shoulder to head. Which doesn't look good, you know. He's pretty low, but Hiron Andrews is pretty upright as well. So there's contact with the hip. That's already been confirmed now. But yeah, what I can do for you guys, I can do a little bit of a scoreboard. So let me get that up for you, shall I?
Hiron Andrews' arm wrapping there as well. The problem is it's wrong foot at all. Okay, AJ, that is what I've got here. I want you to consider all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, it's penalty area.
There we go. And I can do something else, you know. I had other stuff out here. What else can I? How else can we make this look better? I'll tell you what I can do. There we go. Look at us. Look at us go.
So it's going to be a penalty against Hiron Andrews.
Well, yeah, this is Forever Sports load shedding. If anyone would like to donate towards a better inverter, then we can potentially go for a bit longer. I don't think it's. I don't know. I'm a bit confused. We weren't supposed to have load shedding now, so I'm a bit confused with what's going on. So it's half time coming up. So during half time, we'll be able to just check on my schedule and find out exactly when we should be back. Anyway, it's a penalty for the Stormers. So with what 50 seconds to go. 7 points to 3. Forever Sports light, yeah, literally. Well, I suppose it's actually Forever Sports lack of light, isn't it? Right, so Stormers with a late opportunity now to try and score some points. Yeah, we're going to try and check the load shedding after this, and if nothing else, I'll try and get a bit of a better setup for myself going. I might be able to find a plug or something to get better light. But for now, we'll mission on for the last 15 seconds of the half as Kari Benny goes to Marvin Ori. It's a bit of a messy line, and Bongi Manambi has actually come away with that. So Stormers butchering a golden opportunity to try and find some points for half time. Just a 4-point advantage. And Monia now goes high to Warrigaland. Now, what does Warrigaland do? Does he just kick it out? I think he will. Yeah, he just kicks it out. Right, there we go. So half-time score is 40 points to 3. 40 points to 3. Half-time after 40 minutes, it's 7 points to 3. Storm up against the Sharks. Up there, Fassi, Warwick having a bit of a chat there. Warwick just reminding that he's probably the better fullback. Tough draw there. Yeah, this isn't ideal, is it? It's not ideal at all. So let me try and find out what the load shedding is happening over here, shall I? Okay, so it looks like we're after another half an hour. So I'm trying to decide what the best way to get around this is. The internet should be fine. That should last us the entire thing. My lights, however, we're not quite sure how long they're going to last. So yeah, it's not going to be a looking stream, unfortunately. I apologize for it. I'd love to be able to sort it out, but unfortunately. And then, as I said that, everything's come back on. So I think actually, touch wood, I think the power might be back. Yeah. So yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. My lights come back on for some reason. I think the inverters decided it might have a bit more power than we originally thought, but it's not going to last very long, unfortunately. So halftime score 7 points to 3. An interesting game because I think that both teams will probably be in the change room thinking, how have we not scored more points? How have we not? How are there only 4 points in the game? How is there only one try in the game? Because both teams have had opportunities. I'd argue that Stormers have had the better opportunities. They've had a couple of really good breaks where just that last final pass hasn't quite gone to hand. So they'll probably be quite frustrated at the moment with what's been going on. But at the same time, we've seen a much better Stormers in terms of the structure. You know, we've seen some line breaks. We've seen a pretty solid defensive effort so far. I mean, it's the first time they've been up at halftime this year, I think, because they chased the game against the Bulls. They chased the game against the Sharks. So if you want to look for positives, I suppose there's a positives that they've started a lot better, but just need more clinical. I think the Stormers will almost have put the game to bed. You think about that Ruin Nile break, which came inside, and that Dandy Racine break, for example. They've had opportunities to score tries. They just haven't quite been able to convert it. Cape Town has a load shedding free weekend. Just saying, we in Worcester have load shedding for free. Us two in the Free State. I was in Cape Town for 1 month and no load shedding. Time to move, Stephen. Dear. You know what the problem with Cape Town is that it's just so wet in winter, and I can't do wet and cold. Like I can't do it. Like Joburg gets flipping cold, but it's just dry. Like I just feel like when it's wet and it's cold, it's miserable. It's just not for me. It's not for me. If I can move to the UK if I wanted that sort of weather. Plus, I've got 2 stadiums here. I'm as close to Loftus as I am to going to Ellis Park, which we will get to in the next, hopefully, a couple of weeks once I can walk a bit better. Then we're going to be doing some vlogs. We can take you guys inside stadiums and try and get the other guys to do the watchalongs, and we can do some live crossovers and see what life is like in in a COVID stadium, which I'm sure some of you guys have already experienced. But for the people that haven't, unfortunately, yeah, in theory, the Pals are supposed to come back at 6:30. You might get lucky; they might come back at 6. Who knows? But at this stage, we're gonna have to soldier on like this for as long as we can, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. Welcome T707. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. As you can see, as Grant labeled it, this is Forever Sports Light. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other way we can. The sad thing, I used to have like old scoreboards for the situation, but I didn't create one for this game, which is a bit frustrating. My laptop's died as well, which doesn't help. It's just all not going well, basically, in essence. Yeah, says why did Chelsea Sharks play the same team in this competition? They played so well against Western Province. Well, I mean, to be fair, they played against Western Province, which is a completely different side. So these are the best sides from the two unions. I think we've got power back. I think we've been bailed out early, and I think the power's back. Right, the power is back, people. The power is back. So give me 5 minutes, and we'll be back on the normal setup. So don't go away. I'll be with you guys right now.
And we are back. Hello. Welcome back to Forever Sports, Forever Rugby, Forever Everything, Forever Not Load Shedding, because we are back. We are back, people. And just in time for the second half down in Cape Town. The Storm is leading 7 points to 3 in what could be a bit of a nail biter. We were down for load shedding off for a bit, but we are back and we can confirm that everything is all good. You can even back to the URC studio over here, so we can get back to that as well. Also, I need to change the score because Wales have managed to find a try line. So it's currently 29-7 in these Six Nations. That game pretty close to coming to an end over there. So bonus point for Ireland, pretty much job done for them. They'll be tough with that. That'll work. We've got this game, and then we immediately go into England versus Scotland tonight over in Edinburgh. So it's a rugby past evening. Where we at, though? And now I've heard shedding. Sorry about that. We also England, Scotland will be all good there, but they have top players in the other team who will do better here. Well, that's an interesting point. You know, which Sharks players would make the side at the moment? Deep restart, Ruan Nel. Solid carry from him off the restart. Hershey Yankees off to Hachiba Daimani. Taken back, so they don't have the safety of the 22. Sorry, carry there from the Sharks. Sharks getting front football. Yeah, it's a big tackle from Scaran Tabanas, Opsinama, Bongi, Manambi. Verna Cocker's on the park as well, by the way. I assume for Jeremy Ward if there were one person to a place, but unless there was an injury. Turnover ball now for the Stormers. That's a penalty for the Stormers. Steve Sharks before we end up. I just don't think it's all sort of just clicking. I think they've got all the players they need. It just hasn't quite fallen into place just yet. We family had a bribe back in the day with the game on RSG before load shedding. My dad had the solution. Your channel kind of like that. Maybe just sort your reserve power out. Yeah, I've got an inverter, but it only gives. The problem is, I think it's a lot of power. The setup is a lot of power. You know, you're powering lights, you're powering desktop screens, decoders. You know, all the work. So it is a pretty high power setup. We don't have a generator. Can't afford a generator. So we've got an inverter, but it only gives us about 2 hours. So we're trying to get a new one, but these things cost a lot of money, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if load shedding becomes more of a constant. Then we're gonna have to try and find some sort of solution somewhere. But hey, what can you do here? What can you do? Life makes life interesting, I suppose. So Stormers got an early opportunity here to try and find some points. They're walking towards the 22. So line there, down to see once again breaking the first line of defense, getting through to Kanya Aman. Oh, pick up and go from Dion Fourie. Hershey Yankees now going to Marvin Ori. That's a big hit on him from Laviskakni. Hershey Yankees now going towards the right hand side. Ernst van Rijn almost finding a bit of a gap. Desperate carry tackle, but it's a good pick up and go from Brock Harris. This is much better for Stormers. Good continuity pick up and go once again from Dion Fourie. RJ Smith now scrum off. There's a bit of space out wide. Warwick Lamb puts the kick in behind. It pops up. Oh, and Ruan Nel might have this, Ruan Nel might have this down. They're going to have a look here. They're going to have a look. This could be a brilliant try. Didn't look too much on, but Warwick Lamb deciding to put it on the boot. Maximo Pimpi was backpedaling, and the ball just suddenly popped up all of a sudden. Spoon Corsi, the man who's replaced by Werner Koch. Icelander's hamstring there doesn't look too good. On-field decision is a try. Lakanya Arms asked to look for a knock on as well. Meanwhile, in the Ireland versus Wales game, it's well over the allotted time. Ireland looking for a try for fun, really. They've got the bonus point. They've got everything they need. Looking for some points difference. Right, so the kick comes in here. Ball pops up. So now they're looking to see if it's Darmani gets his hand on the ball. The question is, does it go forward off Darmani, or is it coming off? Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. You're a Stormer? No, very much not a Stormer. I'm very much a Lion. Unfortunately these days, but yeah, well, there we go. Ireland's first game, a very comfortable 29 points to 7 victory for them. So they'll be chuffed with that. So we can get rid of that scoreboard. We can get the England one up for in about half an hour's time, and hopefully this game will be done by then. In fact, it won't be. But so we can get rid of that. Bang, 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 bang. So the big question here for me is whether it comes forward off Diamani. I think right now when he gets it, does he step out here? His right foot's in. I think the groundings are right, I think the groundings are right. It's all going to come down to whether it comes forward off Diamani. I don't want to make this call. I think this is a tough call to make. Okay, so the try is not gonna. It's not gonna. So they say the ball has travelled forward off Diamani's hand, so the try will not stand. It will be a scrum. So Sharks getting away with that one would have been a very nice start to the half, and the Stormers if they had managed to get that try going. Do you have a dog? I do have a dog. She's about 8 months old. Well, it's my parents' dog. I don't have a dog. I don't have anything. I can barely afford to feed myself, let alone have the responsibility of feeding a dog. Sharks haven't clicked yet. No tries, probably a fair call. Yeah, I think it's 50-50. So I think it would have been. Yeah, when in doubt there, I think I think it probably does go forward off Diamani's hand. So classified as a forward pass, I suppose. So early scrum, yep. As a Lion, who do you dislike more, the Stormers or the Sharks? I don't know. It's difficult. I've always found that the Stormers fans in general, and this is going to be me being very biased, but I found like if you look at Facebook and stuff like that, I find the Stormers fans themselves tend to be very biased. A lot of it's passion, but Brock Harris is nowhere there. Oxen Chairs absolutely demolished him. So I've always found some Stormers fans to be quite almost unnecessary bias. But it was frustrating as a Lions fan going to Johannesburg, and when the Lions play the Sharks, it would be like an away game, and everybody would sit there supporting the Sharks because they supported the Sharks, which was annoying. So yeah, it's a tough one. I just don't understand how the Sharks side's not playing better. They've got everything you would need. If you wanted to pick like a dream team, the side wouldn't be far off it. Completely Springbok front row. The loose trio will eventually also welcome back Sikimo Zenoche. They can have a completely international backline. They've got all the talent in the world. They've got the best squad and the deepest squad in the country. And it's just not happening for them. I mean, they did put 47 points in the Lions, but they also conceded 37 points that day. So I wouldn't have said that was their complete performance. And then last week, they threw away a lead. So Jane Henshaw with the boot, Makasula the Pimpy chasing hard. Taste of Angela Davis. Very nice take up the air from him. Trying to make his way in the 15th game now. Hershey Yankees. Ball out wide to RJ Smith. To Malibok. To Kalant. To Dan Duplessis. Dan Duplessis making another line break. Gives it also to Nutley. He got the pace. And Nutley around the back. Ball inside from Ronald to Dan Duplessis. Dan Duplessis. Desperate tackle from Basically Good Lazy. Pick up and go. Warwick Kalant. He's just short. They're trying to recycle it. Surely it's going to be a penalty for coming in from the side there. No, well, the Sharks turned this over legally, apparently. You see Warwick Kalant's head popping out there. Well, that's a huge turnover from the Sharks. How are they not scored there? The Stormers, I have no idea. But this is what we've been waiting to see from Dan Duplessis, to be fair to him. And I was quite critical about the fact that they were still back in the 2 centers, but Dan Duplessis today has played a lot better. Now a big counter-attack coming in from the Stormers, and they've turned the ball over, but illegally so. But what a passage to play that was. Some of the coaching problem. Yeah, I must admit, I think that the coaching could be... I don't think it's the best coach staff in the world. I mean, Sean Everett's, he's been through the system and stuff like that. They brought in Warren Whiteley, the little sods. They brought a couple of experienced players and coaches and stuff like that. And obviously, they've also got Neil Powell coming in next season after the Rugby World Cup. But I think it'll just take time, I think it'll take time for the Sharks. I think once they click, I think they're going to be a pretty impressive unit. They have a bad scrum half, fly half pairing. I mean, I don't know. They've got the most scrum halves in the country in the likes of a Jaden Hendricks, Grant Williams. You still got Cameron Wright. You still got Tanena Humber. And Manilov, to me, today has looked a lot better than Buddha Chamberlain did last weekend. I just think it's a time thing. I just think the longer they play, the better they'll get. As Monty Liebach almost finds a bit of a gap, gets up to the 22 here. Storm's playing with lots of confidence, but they've turned over the ball illegally. It's a penalty right in front of the poles, and Storms will be able to kick themselves a further 3 points ahead here. So it's not quite happening for the Sharks. I think Lions become the Cats again. Imagine if players like Farhan Steyn or Ruan in the team. Well, how about we don't become the Cats and we just sign them, Kalant's putting people into space. He does it so well, doesn't he? One of the best players for that. Sharks not marking their opposition. The people in KZN will soon start complaining about the coach staff. It's like as you could see, I was at the Stormers. Yeah, it's true. It's difficult. I mean, for example, lots of people are very, very, very hard on the Lions coaching staff. But the only sort of thing you could justify is they're going, do they really have the resources? Can you really compete with that squad? And my answer is I don't think you really can. I still don't think it's the best coaching staff, but I don't think they've got a lot of resources. But Sean Everett can't complain about resources. He's got absolutely everything he needs to be one of the best teams in the URC. They've got, I think, 10 Springbok squad members or 11 Springbok squad members. I think they've got about 13 internationally capped players in that squad. Even the non-international players, they're good players. The likes of Pepsi Boot Lazy is a good player. But they're not clicking at the moment. Kevin, I think they're going to play for the Lions just to gut feel. The Bulls have the best coaches. Yeah, the Bulls have got a very good coaching setup. I think they're the only union where I think there's no doubt about the quality of the coaches there. Good take there under the high ball from Angela Davis, but a bit of pressure from the right time, but Stormers do manage to keep it. First Yankees give it to Archiva Diamani, who looks set to get a run at games now with Evan Rose picking up an injury. Yankees going to the box kick. Now after the fast going for a bit of a run. We haven't seen him run much today. He's wrapped up and he almost bundled up, manages to stay in. Jaden Henderson now going to Manilo, bringing in Oxen Chair. Big tackle on him. Now Benito going to Jeremy Ward. Jeremy Ward going out to the Kanya. Bit of space outside. The Kanya straightens. Almost up to the halfway line, but struggling to find gain on advantage. Jaden Hendricks, sir. And Benito decides to put it to the boot while Kalam puts his foot out to stop it. Now gives it away to Mani Liebach. Mani Liebach sees a bit of space out the wide there. If this bounces and rolls, 50-22. 50-22. That is so well worked from Manie Liebach. And I think Apelefasi guilty of being a little bit out of position here because as soon as that ball went to Manie Liebach, you knew what was coming. You could see exactly where he was looking, and Apelefasi wasn't fast enough to get across there. The ball has rolled out, and it will be a Stormers. There it is. There it is. We finally get to see. We're going to see half an hour of Damien Willemse at inside center. It's what we've wanted to see all the time for ages now. So Damien Willemse is on for Dan du Plessis, who actually I thought played very well today. We saw the Dan du Plessis that Don Dobson has been wanting us to see. But now we get to see Damien Willemse playing inside center for a while. I remember this Super 12 Cats thing finished bottom, didn't work out. Yeah, it wasn't a great system. Sharks need Grant, Dazn. I think Bent up wide is going to be quite. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's go into Ben. You're almost up there. Bongi Minami Desh trying to wrap the tackle. Stormers up to the 5 meter line. I mean, the ironic thing is that the Stormers go and win this game. They would have won 2 of the last 3. They'll be undefeated this year. And yet last year, I mean, everyone's been calling for John Dobson to go. And yet, playing pretty well at the moment. Marvin Ori now. That's a big tackle on him. Vishank's trying to recycle quickly. Damien Willemse, first touch for him. Inside step away from Khaleesi. Wrapped up by Labaskakli. He's got such a good step. Varnish to Venus and goes inside to Davis. Khaleesi comes across and makes the tackle. Had a bit of a quiet game so far. Advantage though for the Stormers. And he'll just fall over. And RJ Smith has got a try. Stormers up to 15 points. And the Sharks just look like a very average side at the moment. It's a really good try-saving tackle there from Sia Khaleesi, but like that carry there from RJ Smith. I mean, Labaskakli goes too low, and RJ Smith's already over, and all he has to do is just fall down, and he's over. Tim says the Bulls are the only URC team you could say they've got Rugby World Cup winning head coach. Yeah, look, to be fair, it's not like there's that many out there, but I get your point. The key for South African rugby has always been support your Dorp club, province, super team as you would the box. That's what what make me great. Yeah, that doesn't really happen in Johannesburg. I think that's the biggest problem is half Johannesburg does not support the Lions. Whereas the entire Western Cape will support the Stormers. The entire Natal will support the Sharks. Half of Johannesburg supports the bloody Sharks as well. And so Sharks fast asleep, told you that team are better. Nah, but you see, I'm sorry, if you put the Sharks Curry Cup team against this team, they'd lose. That's a very good kick for Manie Liebach, by the way. 17 points to 3 so far. Not looking good for the Sharks. Bulls and Sharks are like Man United and Man City of football. Rule of that's basically tribal family instinct anyway. Right, well, in terms of now trying to inject a bit of pace, Grant Williams come on for the Sharks. So they're going to ask him to try and accelerate things, try and get things going, try and open up the field a bit. He's going in leaps and bounds, Grant Williams. Angelo Davis once again from the kickoff. So take from him. Now Stormers very much in the driving seat. Now it's interesting to see how they close out. Now it's all about territory. You want to now play in the Sharks' half. You just don't want to play in your own half. It's taken back, so Herschel Yankees can't go for touch. He lifts it high for Angelo Davis to take, but Angelo Davis after the fast takes out the air, wrapped up by Ruan Nell. Now Grant Williams first ball to Thomas Dutoy. Wrapped up by Ernst Van Rijn and Brock Harris. Now Benio decides to go high as well. It's pretty deep though, so Lunch should have a bit of time after he takes it. He does. Gets the offload away to Gelant as well. Slanat steps inside. Gives it to Damien Willemse. So Damien Willemse gives it away to Herschel Yankees. Herschel Yankees gets tripped and gets brought down, but Slanatla is there. So Stormers will contain possession here. Long pass out for Gelant towards Manie Liebach. The Sharks defense is scrambling. Ernst Van Rijn, it's a good run by him. And they offload away. Brock Harris picks it up for Damien Willemse, who's wrapping around. Damien Willemse, inside ball to Brock Harris, who gives to Manie Liebach. To run now to Angelo Davis out wide. Angelo Davis slips the tackle, still going. right up against the touchline there. Really good work from the Stormers, but unfortunately his foot did just go out there. But that's a really good work from the Stormers. Once again, it's Watchalong. He just draws players in so well and managed to find. He just creates so much space for the other players. And the follow-up play, the support play from the Sharks is really impressive here. There's the continuity here, you know. Always looking to offload. That's the thing with the Stormers. Always looking for the offload. Always trying to keep the game alive. Bit of break and play at the moment. But Stormers are playing nice rugby at the moment. Thomas Toy gets a bit of attention. The Lions don't have fans because no one is ready from Joburg. Oh, please. Instant rule. Started watching late. Are the Stormers good or the Sharks bad? I'd say both. I'd say the Stormers are playing well. I'd say the Sharks have been a bit nowhere. The Sharks just can't get their hands on the ball, isn't it?
It's not weather for shirts, that's for sure. Or for suits. Well, down the road, there's 50 other teams that played this morning. You see some of the guys from the Cape Town Tens, those netball also. So
well, it's Cape Town Tens this weekend, of course. I actually want to play in that. Hopefully next year I'm going to get to go down there and play a bit of footy. It's a messy line out there. So this is what I'm saying. It's just not happy for the Sharks at all. All of a sudden, turn over line out. Deon Fourie now going a bit of a run himself. Breakdown works are pretty good for the Stormers. They've always made sure they've got they've kept their possession now.
Yet another tackle from
Stormers going to go for the box keep, and now they go up to Watchalong, do chips and chases. Oh, and he almost managed to gather again. It's a knock-on. If he had managed to gather, he had Hershey Yankees on the outside as well. Almost the perfect option for Watchalong. Chip and chase to himself, and the ball almost fell back to him perfectly. It was good work there for Hershey Yankees. He asked for a block as if he was going for the box kick, and then immediately then went back to Watchalong to try and catch the Sharks' defense unaware. I stand Joe a couple months is way too hot up further coast. Yeah, but I mean it's so nice up here. Like in the winter. I mean, look, the coast is humid, eh? Like Durban is like swelteringly hot at times. Calant makes rugby look easy. Why not just start Calant to make difference in the beginning? Well, that's what they've done. Willems still with the energy. I'd like to see Willems starting at 12, to be honest. Will says I'm in Worcester time. It's 41 currently. Worcester time just before you go through the mountains of Cape Town and the power is off. Well, I thought you guys didn't get load shedding down there. That's a knock-on, by the way. Hershey Yankees has forced a knock-on from Pepsi Boot Lazy. And this is what I'm saying. It's just the Sharks can't do anything. Well, here comes the reinforcements. Buddha Chamberlain and Brand Kropler is going to be coming on. I didn't think... I thought that Benito actually had quite a nice game at fly half. So if Verheeren is off and Kropler is on. And... Tito Diaz Benita is off and Buddha Chamberlain's on. He needs to have a much better game than he had last week because I thought Buddha Chamberlain was quite poor. Ratswell Kalanda showing now front runner for Box 15 jersey. He's in the form of his life. He just can't do much wrong at the moment. He doesn't matter what he needs to do. He's just something's always happening when he's got the ball. JSB says, I really hope Kalant gets game time at the box. He's got everything you need in a fullback. Better than Fussy. Well, that's what we had this conversation this week, and I said right now I would definitely have Kalant in that 15 jersey ahead of Fussy right now. Not to say Fussy won't get there eventually, but Kalant's just in a different class.
Come back to the other side.
Bum, 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 bum.
Conversation here over on the left between Warwick and
There's a huge difference between Cape Town and Boland. Yeah, no, fair. I'm with you. Dean says Tyron Green should get a chance as well. Yeah, I'd like to see Tyron Green get called up and capped. Because he's somebody we could risk losing to England. The scrum has allowed the Stormers to play more. Yeah, it has been a massive difference. Brock Harris being able to anchor that scrum. They've lost. As you can see, a penalty there, as you say that, but that has been a huge difference. Whereas last week, every single time it came to scrum time, the Sharks basically an automatic penalty. Saturday Sunday was absolutely demolished. So it has been, whilst they have conceded a few penalties from the scrum time, not having that weapon, the Sharks have really missed that. Galant is the most Validaroo-like out of the current crop. Is this game going to run to the England game? No, because the England game starts in 15 and this match has got another 20 minutes left on it. So it will overlap a bit. Galant is everything we need in a block fullback because he just runs the game so well. So taking there from Krobler. Grant Williams, that first receiver. Now this is looking a bit more enterprising. Oh, they didn't manage to get the offload away. Grant Williams and Buddha Chamberlain, he's knocked it on as well. So his first contribution, if he had managed to get that away to Werner Koch, he would have been away. But Ruan Null has wrapped up Buddha Chamberlain and forced a knock on. Yeah, it's so well done by Ruan Null. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, I think the Sharks are away. A good Willie or a bad Willie, no. Yeah, I just woke. Well, here we go. Saturday Sunday is now on for Brock Harris. He's gonna get an extra 20 minutes, and I like the fact that they kept him. I know that he was absolutely demolished last week. I know that he had a really bad day, but I think Saturday Sunday is a very talented player, and I think that you've got to show a bit of faith every now and again. You've got to sit there and say, we still believe in you. We still think you could do a job, and let's see. If you can't do a job here, then drop him. But you never know. He's going straight into a scrum here. It's an Oxen chair that isn't quite as fresh. And Saturday Sunday gets a big scrum here, and all of a sudden, his confidence is right back up there. You see Brewer scored another 100 the other day. I'm so looking forward to the T20 challenge where he's in the Titan squad. I think we're going to see him playing as well. And look at that. Big scrum already. Big scrum already from the Stormers. The ball is out, but there's a big scrum there. Jamie Ward, Marcus on Pimpy running over Hershey Yankees, but Damien Willemse, he's such a good defender. Comes in and makes a big hit on Pimpy. Buddha Chamberlain's behind Oxen chair. Knocked back as the call. Grant Williams. Chamberlain going to Bongi Manambi. I think it'll be too long before we start seeing replacements in the Sharks front row. Buddha Chamberlain now going to the boot. Werner Koch, Jeremy Ward chasing hard. Siaklisi's in and around the fringes there. It taps back to and Siaklisi comes away with it. He's brought down. It's available for Grant Williams. He goes to Thomas DeToy. Big hit on him from RJ Smith as Stephen Kitsoff takes his ankles. This time Lakanya trying to get. Oh, he gets the ball off and away to Jamie Ward. Jamie Ward still going. Another good tackle from Galant, but Grant Williams. The desperate tackle from Willemse, but he can't stop it, and the Sharks are finally over. And I don't want to say it's down to one man, but he does inject a lot of pace into the game. Grant Williams has come on and made a big difference here. Lekanya manages to get to the tackle, frees his arm, he gets the ball away. This time, Jamie Ward can hold on to it. He gets the offload away to Grant Williams. He's got too much pace. Damien Willemse comes in to try and make a desperate tackle, but it's just too late. Jamie Ward, you see, that's the issue. I think it was Ruan Null who doesn't make the tackle, which forces Warwick Galant to commit. And as soon as Warwick Galant commits, Grant Williams has got green grass ahead of him, and he's got so much pace. So it should be a 7-point game, yeah.
Julie does the two. Just good contribute to rugby. Look at your arm. Offload him and Jamie Ward, you love each other. That's what, look at that. Support player. Right. Williams. He gets it over.
Right, game on. 17 points to 10.
Try for the Sharks.
Will we see a Sharks fight back? We've seen a Stormers fight back in the last couple of weeks. Will we now see a Sharks fight back?
That's so often. It's a wonderful rugby story, isn't it? It's good rugby on the wing. 50-50.
Restart going towards Krobler, so I'll take from him.
His way up to the first team scrum half.
Grant Williams going to Oxen Chair. Williams now going to the boot. He hasn't found a lot of distance there. It bounces though. It falls towards Hershey Yankees. He races down the side there. Hershey Yankees got space ahead of him. Puts in the kick for Sinatla. Well read by Upper Fassi, but he's been bundled under touch. Jeepers. In fact, almost in throwing it back towards his players, almost created a bit of an issue there for Grant Williams. And it'll be a 5-meter scrum. You see, I think Upper Fassi shouldn't have tossed that back in.
Sinatla makes that tackle beautifully. Wow, that's risky. That is risky. The safe option would just let it go.
Time off. Yeah, I shouldn't have thrown that back in. I think, if you just wear that, you get bundled into touch. You can see the. I mean, it's difficult, because you would have conceded. I would have conceded a line up there. I think. Now we've got a scrum on the 5-meter. Given the fact how the last scrum went, which was not particularly good, this is danger territory.
Cheaters in the Pro 14, moving to Durban. He's replaced Chandra Labaskachni.
I wanna fly.
The touchline. Fassi making pass back inside. Fassi, this option just to take it back in. Just take it out to touch.
All right, scrum time here. And a good looking scrum as well. Hershey Yankees sniping himself. Runs straight into Werner Koch. He stands tall. Probably shouldn't have gotten himself there, but back to confidence. So tackle by Werner Koch. Now slow ball here for the Stormers. Marvin already looking for a pick up and go.
Position closer to the posts. Another penalty advantage.
Yankees giving it. Oh, it was Watchalong was running on there, but I think he was tackled out the ball, so it could be a penalty here.
Closing in on him hard. He's made 13 tackles in the game. The Springbok captain. This is a hard tackle here. It's Grant Williams who got in there first to dislodge the ball. He got it hard there. Been in wonderful form since making his return from injury. Warwick Galant last played a test match for South Africa, the 9th of his 9 against Canada. The last pool game of the Rugby World Cup in Kobe. Playing with great confidence and charisma.
So I'm just busy setting up other streams and stuff like that. It's all a very hectic day. So it's going to be a line out here for the Stormers. So not out of jail just yet. There's a big tackle from Sia Khaleesi on Warwick Galant there. Sia Khaleesi, I think, making, they said, about 30 tackles so far today. So one of his, I suppose almost the Sia Khaleesi of not last year, but the Sia Khaleesi of old, where I think a lot of his work went underappreciated, where he just makes a lot of work without necessarily being in the front and center. Last year he was far more front and center. But Deon Fourie has broken free here. Desperately brought down by Galant. He's still going as Deon Fourie. And speaking of the devil there, so basically put Lazy making that tackle. Now Stephen Kitsoff. And my clock is still off. Kitsoff. 13 white offside. Jamie Ward staying offside there. So penalty for Stormers. Wonder if they'll take the points. And Jamie Ward now interception. Ow. Yeah, and they will be taking the points here, all the Stormers. Jamie Ward's deemed to be offside there as Watchalong coming to join the line.
One penalty already. Two conversions.
Mailibok right in front has extended the lead to 10 points as we almost enter the last 10 minutes rather. Meanwhile, in the other game, England versus Scotland, England are walking out. We can get a scoreboard going for that one in a moment. Of course, we will be live for that game. We'll probably be live at about 7 with the way it's going to overlap, unfortunately. But here we go. Here's a new front row for the Sharks after those two big scrums. So there we go. We do have a scoreboard for Scotland and England. Angelo Davis, once again, nice take from the restart. He's actually been very good under the high ball today. And he's won a penalty. Okay, AJ Jacobs, you need to relax, dude. It's like, whoa. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, what's your issue here, chap? We're chilling. So there was a penalty, but it was out before the penalty. So it actually works out nicely for the Sharks. We'll now have an opportunity from the line out. The Calcutta Cup about to get underway over there in Edinburgh. Macy Larnett, though, and the Storm, no, Brent Cropler's come away with that. So the Sharks on the attack here. Grant Williams, quick ball there to Nkunu, who's just come on. Kieran van Vuren, big tackle on him from Ernst van Rijn. Grant Williams to Lukanya shows the inside. Mike Libok goes diving off to thin air. Sharks inside the 22 here. Need to try and make this count. They are to make a game of this. 9 minutes left on the clock. Hiron Andrews puts his head down, runs over Ernst van Rijn, brought down by Chiba Diamani. Ernst van Rijn not very happy. He was a big hit on the shoulder. And Kuno has just locked that forward. And Namaklabo is now cleaning up. There's a knock-on advantage for the Stormers. Paul de Vet on as well. Damien Willemsen now asked to use his boost to get them out of trouble. That's not a bad clearance at all. That'll get up towards the 10-meter line. Very well defended there from where are we at? So fascinating. We saw Mr. Stockman. Where can we start to buy for SuperSport coffee cups? Asked last year as well. Yeah, sorry, I was actually that was on my to-do list. So we've got a Forever Sport shop, which I think is in the description, but we don't have the coffee cups up there yet. So let me actually sort that out this week. Where's my diary? I've got a diary. I've got a diary to make myself organized. Now I can't find my diary. Doesn't that just sum me up? They'll be up this week. I'll add it to the store this week. Right, so Ernst van Rijn to pass the field. The big tackle that he made, big hit that he made. I think Ernst van Rijn's actually been quite interesting on the flank. He gets to do a lot of work, makes a lot of big tackles. So Ben Jason Dixon is on. Big Varsity Cup player. Or he must be the tallest jumper in the country. How tall is Marvin Ory? Probably the best jumper in the country. I think there's no doubt about that. He's about 2 meters. I'm trying to think of the other tall locks. I can tell you right now, the guys that have tall locks. Yeah, look, maybe potentially. I think Skuman at Lions is about 199. That's a Macy Larnett. The knock on, I don't know. I think it's a knock on by the Sharks. But that's the Cobra looks quite tall, so we used to see them standing next to each other. Don't forget to organise the international shipping for the merch. Yeah, I must try that, or try and find an international supplier maybe. Yeah, I need to get on top of the merch. We need to get that going again. It's just been one of those years we just haven't. We're trying to sort out sponsorship. We got a couple of leads there, which would be very cool. And once we start doing that stuff, we start doing more things. At least the most effective. Yeah, he's definitely. As I said, I think he's definitely the best line-out jumper in the country. I don't think there's a better line-out operator than Marvin Ory right now in South Africa. If Franco Moster were to come back from Japan for the Lions, then he could give him a good go. Right, scrum here for the Sharks, but it's a penalty for the Stormers. That's a big moment. That's a big moment. Yeah, I must admit, I think Kutan Kun on his day is not a bad scrummager, but I've never been impressed by Instuko and Kuna scrummaging. I think he's really poor when it comes to scrum time. Right, so the Stormers kick towards the corner. Stormers were to score here. That would be game over. Orias Kak, if I had no choice between two, I will pick Galant. Okay, well, maybe Galant at lock. Not sure he'd be a particularly good line jumper. No, I think Ori is very consistent. I think his discipline's always been the issue. As a Lions fan, I've watched a lot of him, and his discipline was always the issue. But he's very good at lineouts. Oh, that's a big start for England. Goodness me, that's a horrible way to start. I mean, under the high ball, you actually be smashed by two English players as that game gets underway. Apples always done really well with cutting down his pension for penalties. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was saying. Sia Khaleesi bumps off Damien Willemse, trying to run their way out here as the Sharks managed to steal that line out. Rod Williams back to Buddha Chamberlain, who looks like he sliced that kick slightly. It's an all-right touch finder. It's half between the 10 meter and the 22. Ruan Nokia is good at the Bulls line out. What about Andrews from the Sharks? Yeah, look, I mean, so most of your number 5 locks should be good at line out time. So yeah, Ruan Nokia is a decent jumper. Harry Andrews is a decent jumper. But I think Ori is a bit. I think line out wise, I don't think there's anybody better. At the Lions, who's our main jumper? Locks aren't actually great jumpers, to be honest. I think Vince Tuka is a very good jumper. We've missed him actually in the lineups. Frankie Horn's not a bad jumper, but it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? When you lose forwards, you better jumpers in your lock. It's a good Moria for the Stormers. Andre Hugo Fenter, he's just on now, coming over with it. Paul DeVette uses it. Good pick up there from Warwick Lunt, and sorry, it was Ruan now to Warwick Lunt. Now Paul DeVette finds space out wide for Angela Davids. Angela Davids cutting inside, getting away from a few players, running towards some the support. Kleber now taking into contact. Paul DeVette there, giving out to Monty Liebach. Liebach trying to sort of go by himself. Ball falls on the ground, and I think it's been turned over by the Sharks. Yeah, it has. Sharks going with a 6-2 split at the moment. So only the two backline players, Paul DeVette and Damien Willemse, the two come on. Taken back, and Buddha Chamberlain now, kicking it downfield. Trying to find the 50-22, but Monty Liebach managed to get back. Inside to Warwick Lunt. I mean, it's also having a fullback that can kick off both feet is very useful. That time is right boot. Now Grant Williams spots a bit of space on the left there. Trying to find some space, trying to snipe, but he does get brought down by Benson Dixon. Kieran van Vuren now just puts his head down. But Namaklaba is all over that ball and he'll win a penalty. He's so good on the ground as Namaklaba. Very, very important win that. With 77 minutes, that should almost be the ball game, you know. The Sharks are losing, so I must entertain myself. And England looking like they started pretty well here in the Six Nations against Scotland. They're going to go for the corner here. Just run down the clock here, our Stormers.
hook off the left boot. It's a wonderful kick.
I think it's actually an underrated aspect of Watchalong's game. The fact that he can kick off both feet opens up the field immensely if you get the ability to do that. Right, so kicks off is also interesting to see who the captain would be of the Stormers at the moment, because Ernst van Rijn took over the captaincy last weekend. So with no Steve kicks off, Nama Klaba could be the captain here. I don't know if you're looking at a Marvin Ori, I suppose. Who's captain here? I like how the rest ask who's captain. All the Stormers players are just looking around going, yeah, anybody? Nama Klaba was captain of the Curry Cup side. Asking if there's a knock from Stormers. Apparently, yeah, it is a knock on from the Stormers. Well, this is going to be the game here. The Sharks will not win. So the Stormers have done the job. They have done the job.
Pressure. Again, it's been for Watchalong starting in the fullback position. The offloading game going. It's got a very valuable boot in every.
I wanna fly, can you take me from here? Give me sun.
Just seconds remaining, so the Sharks need something.
Sharks running from deep here. The only thing they can do now is try and get a losing bonus point. They've got 30 seconds left on the clock. Forced to make a choice. Team 2, I back Scotland. Go Scotland. Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Scotland in this game later. Lions call Elrose. Let's not come in. Let's not bring in there. Let's respect me here. Sharks trying to run from deep. Updated Fassi. Brought down by Damien Willemse. Defended well since coming on. Turnover made by no. And it's a penalty for the Stormers. There's 5 seconds to go. Stormers have scored 2 tries. So if I'm them, I'm tapping in, putting it out. That's exactly what they needed, the Stormers. 20 points to 10. Outplayed. Completely outclassed, in fact. A very impressive performance from the Stormers. The try from Sharks arguably actually coming against the run of play. The Stormers they're going to go for the 3 points, I think. But the Stormers have rocked up today. They've done a job, and the Sharks is back to the drawing board. A stacked side that just aren't coming together at all. No, they do kick it out. So final score down in Cape Town Stadium is 20 points to 10. We're going to do a quick review, and then we'll be up for England versus Scotland. Hopefully, we'll be up at about 7 o'clock. So please don't go away. This stream will immediately direct to the Scotland versus England game, and we'll be live within the next 10 minutes. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for joining me. If you don't join us, please enjoy the rest of your weekend. And Brock Harris will celebrate his 100th game for the Stormers with a victory. And I'll see you guys all now.